your organist choirmaster, Daniel Douglas Martin. I am inside the organ chamber today to show you just a little bit about how the organ works and talk a little bit about the first phase of our organ project, which will be to replace the valves in the main wind chests. The pipe organ is a wind instrument, and the wind is generated by a blower that is inside that box, and that wind comes from that blower into this wind reservoir, which regulates the wind pressure and then sends it on through these various types of lines. You can see there's PVC and flex that go to the various wind chests. And I'm going to just show you this wind chest here because it's handy. You can see that it's just dedicated to these 12 pipes here. We call this an offset chest. So what you see here inside here is hollow, and there's wind going in there at a certain pressure, and there's a valve underneath each pipe that will allow the air up into the pipe to generate the tone. I'm a little bit further back into the organ chamber now, and I wanted to show you one of the larger wind chests. I'm kneeling on the floor looking up here at this wind chest, and you can see that it is fastened by a lot of different fasteners to make sure that it's airtight. There's probably gasketing up in there too to help with that. I'm not sure why these are wing nuts. Typically they're just screws that we can remove fairly quickly with a power driver, but we're going to have to take these all apart by hand. Also wanted to show you what we're looking at here. Well, what I was under is the swell division, the swell chest and chamber, which is enclosed with what you might be able to see up here, these louvers here. Those work just basically like vertical blinds. They open and close with a shoe at the console, and that is to regulate the volume of the pipes in that chamber. If you remember the term, the music swelling, that's where that name came from, the swell division. Also wanted to show you just a little bit of the wiring in the organ. This is the panel that sort of translates everything that comes in to the chamber from the organ console. And there's more wiring behind those two panels as well. So here we are back in the chamber, and I have removed one of these bottom boards from this main swell chest. And what you're looking at is various types of valves underneath each pipe. So for example, you can see how this one works. When this is activated, it pulls this down, and you see the hole there underneath, or on the other side of that valve. And sitting on top of that hole is a pipe. Alright. So there are all the valves and the wiring that goes to them. And you can see there are at least two different types just right here. I'm told by the previous caretaker that there are 5 different types of valves in this organ. So we're planning to replace all of them with newer, reliable, long-lasting valve. And I wanted to back out here and just show you also what it's going to take to do this. We're going to have to work basically almost standing on our head. So what we'll do is build a structure in here upon which workers can lie on their back and facing up to work on all of these valves. So to replace them, you see we're going to have to remove the wiring from these and put the new ones in place. And as you might imagine, because all of this is airtight, these valves have to fit just right over that hole. So each valve has to be adjusted to make sure that happens, and also to make sure the magnet actually activates the valve. That's all we have for you today. Stay tuned for the next video where we will talk a little bit more about some of the other work that needs to be done on the organ. Take care. See you next time.